What's going on, everyone? Welcome to your Monday night live stream. I'm your host, Sir Ashley Harrison. And on this channel, we talk about the Carolinas. We talk about real estate and we talk about money. And today I have two new guests. Some of you have seen one of these guests in the chat, but two new guests I want to bring on today. But before we get in, I want to touch on what we're going to talk about. One, I want to talk about crime in Charlotte. Two, we're going to talk about insurance. We talked about it a little bit last week, but we have results. We have numbers that we actually have to present to you, what's happening. Three, we're going to talk about the impact of Martin Luther King on Charlotte and housing in general. And then we have to touch on one of my favorite things that I'm very excited about is Wegmans. Some people know what Wegmans is. Some people don't know what Wegmans is. We're going to introduce you to what Wegmans is and why I'm excited about it in the Charlotte area. And then we're also going to, there's one more thing. I can't think of it. I'm sure they'll come up and we'll talk about it. Feel free, before we get started, hit that like button, share it with friends and colleagues. Also, make sure you drop a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. That's what we're here for. If we don't know the answer, well, one, we have a computer, we can look, but if you don't know the answer, we will let you know. We can follow up with you. This is for you. So please let us know what you want to talk about so we can address and talk about things that are pertinent to you and moving in and within the Charlotte area. Without further ado, Terry, how you doing?
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing very well. Can you introduce yourself to everyone?
Thanks. Yes. My name is Terry Young. I'm the owner of Z3 Carolinas, real estate agent here in the Carolinas, licensed in both North and South Carolina.
Perfect. Now, show Terry some love. This is different, right? Being on live stream in front of everyone. This is a little different, little unique. Show her some love in the comment section. And my brother, Danny, what's going on, brother?
What's going on, my brother?
Can you introduce yourself to everyone, please?
Danny Mullen, North and South Carolina, real estate agent and investor for Lifestyle International, the firm based out of Fort Mill, South Carolina.
What Danny look like? You know what you sounded like?
Huh?
You sounded like when they doing the graphic for Monday Night Football, where the players act like which high school or college you went to. Give them the rundown.
You know how it is.
I love it. How can people get in contact with you, Terry?
So I'm across all social media platforms. That's LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Z3 Carolinas. Just type that in. You should be able to find me. You can also find me on YouTube under Z3 Carolinas. That's Z and the number 3, and then Carolinas with an S.
Perfect. I'm going to put your YouTube link in the chat for everyone so they can go ahead and follow you. Now, with that said, you have to give them content so they can keep coming back. Danny, how can they get in touch with you, Danny?
I'm on YouTube at Sold by Danny 704, Instagram Sold by _Danny, Facebook Danny Mullen, and you can always contact me at DannyMullenRealtor@gmail.com.
Perfect. I am getting your YouTube right now, so I can put it in the comment section as well. Give me 1 second. Now, both of their full contact information, their phone number, their emails are in the description of this video. So if you're watching this on a replay, feel free, go down there if you want to reach out to them. Don't hold it against Danny that he's wearing a Bills hat. All right. So first, let's get into, I want to touch on something that was broached last week when you two weren't present, but it's about the insurance rates increases here in North Carolina. I think it's not the most pertinent thing, but when you're going to buy a home, many people factor in principal, interest rate. They don't factor in the rise in taxes, And now we're seeing the rise in insurance. Terry, I know you brought this to my attention. You're like, hey, we need to make sure we touch on this. What's going on with the rise in insurance rates here in North Carolina in Mecklenburg County, and what do people need to be aware of?
So overall, just for North Carolina as a whole, it's a 15% increase. Okay. That is going to impact affordability for a lot of people. So need to take that in consideration. Specifically for Charlotte, Mecklenburg County, we were looking at.
I have it pulled up on the screen right now. You're 100% correct.
Okay.
North Carolina home insurance, you should be able to see it, has an increase,
Yeah, I see it.
rate increase about 15% by mid-2026. And if
Mhm.
I'm correct, Mecklenburg County 2025 is 9 point something percent,
Yes.
9.2, 9.3 in 2025. And then in 2026, it's going up again by 9.1, 9.2, 9.3. So over 18% in 2 years
Percent.
for
Mhm.
Mecklenburg County. And those people that are just on the border, this is where strategy comes into play when you're buying a home, right? And you may be like, hey, I can afford it. But when the mortgage broker or when the bank is looking at your DTI, your debt to income, they're going to have to factor that in, right? And if you're right on the cusp, you might be priced out, not because you quote unquote can't afford it, but it doesn't pencil on paper.
Mhm.
And I know you are, both of you, Danny and Terry, you're very good at positioning people to be able to, we had this conversation right before we jumped on, positioning people and finding them the right home that they can get qualified for and fit in their budget and feel comfortable with. And different insurance premiums going to depend on where you're at looking at in the Charlotte area.
Definitely. So I always tell people, think about the area and your income. This is why you don't buy at the top of your pre-approval, because we know that taxes increase and we know insurance increase, and we have no control over that. So when my clients come to me, I always tell them that we're going to buy on the low end of the pre-approval. So when those increases occur, that they're not feeling it and they're not overextended from a financial standpoint. So again, this just reiterates the importance of, if you get pre-approved for 500K, that's your max. But you need to be trying to focus on where you can afford to be comfortable and maybe a 450 to allow that increase over time.
Perfect. Now, Barbara, thank you for leaving a comment. Thank you for joining us one more day. We're all here, blessed to be here. Feel free. Let us know where you're watching from. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat. We're here for you. I have some topics we want to discuss, but ultimately, this is driven by you all that's watching. So,
But sir,
Danny,
it goes
yes.
back to, I have a thing too. It's not just about buying, it's people that already have homes too, right?
Yep.
So every year they should be reaching out to different insurance companies and getting quotes, because you can save. Danny, myself, we have business partners that can really help them save and keep that mortgage payment from increasing over time.
Most
Yeah, to
definitely.
definitely piggyback off of what Terry said, that's one of those bills that many people don't go back and try to get a cheaper rate on, is the homeowners insurance. We kind of just stick with it and let it ride out. But make sure you leverage everything from your cars to any other insurance that you have to try to see what you can do to get that mortgage insurance down.
Most definitely. Now, what, other than what you said, shopping around, bundling possibly can save, right? Now, Terry, I know you have family out on the West Coast and everything. When we're talking about insurance, right? as far as the premiums and what you should have and everything like that. That's something that's been coming up a lot with Helene, people being
Mm-hmm.
underinsured, and then obviously West Coast. And we're pretty much insulated here in the Charlotte area right now. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen in the future, but there's different insurance coverages that you may want to consider that we probably haven't considered much in the past.
I agree. So we learned from what happened in Western North Carolina, flood insurance, right?
Mhm.
Um, a lot of times flood insurance is only applicable to the coastal, close to water, Charleston, those type of areas. But who would have thought you need a flood insurance in the mountains?
Now, with that said,
But you
parts of
do.
Fayetteville area does need flood insurance because that gets
Yes.
yeah,
Cape
parts of
Fear.
Fayetteville does, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I owned a property in Fayetteville that was damaged by flood, and I got it for a deal, and I'm like, oh, this is why the insurance. This is why. This is why the insurance, right? So it definitely happens. Now, in the comment section, they said your voice was muffled, Barbara. Please let us know if she sounds perfectly fine to me. So please let me know if she sounds muffled or anything in the comment section. I think we're good. I think we're good. I was trying to look up the insurance increase in over by the coast in Wilmington. Insurance increase.
So they said they would see rates climb about 16% in 2025 and then 15.9% in 2026.
Yeah, see, okay, yeah, that is insane. In the
Mm-hmm.
sense of, Barbara says we do have to have flood insurance. No, so we'll get to that. We'll answer your question in 1 second, Barbara. When that happens, and even what's happening here, the increase here, the main people I'm concerned about aren't the people that are moving to the area. A lot of the people that are moving to the area are coming from high cost areas anyway. Right. So even though prices in Charlotte are increasing or rising, they're still seeing it as a deal.
Mm-hmm.
And even though insurance prices are going up, rising, they're still seeing that as a deal versus what they're paying in California or in Florida or on the West Coast. My main concern are the people that are residents here that either one, own a home, right? And they're on a fixed income.
Mm-hmm.
They're on a fixed income. And a lot of times, if you can't, not even a lot of times, every time, let's say you let your insurance lapse, right? And it has a loan, has a mortgage on the property, that lender is going to put an insurance policy on your property. And it's going to be, they're not going to shop around. It's going to be the most expensive insurance policy, period. Right? And ever. and that is going to hamper your ability to pay. And then you get behind on your mortgage and everything like that. And then that leads into foreclosure or you having to sell your home. And don't get me wrong, if you bought it within the last, prior to the last 3 years, I'm sure you have significant equity in your home. We'll get to it, Barbara. You have significant equity. But with that said, if you sell your home, that means you have to find another home. And I'm going through something right now with a client to where they're selling, and even getting a home cheaper costs them $1,000 more a month because of the interest rates, right? Because the interest rates have risen drastically since when they bought. Now, to get to your question, Barbara, do you have to have flood insurance? Depending on where you are in the state. Now, most of the Charlotte region, no, you don't need flood insurance. Am I correct in that, Danny?
Correct.
Terry? Okay. Just want to
Yes.
make sure. Yeah, I know there's spots and areas. I know there was in Shannon Woods. I needed flood insurance for a rental about 10 years ago, but it's because of creek and all that, whatever. But most of
So
Charlotte,
but there's pockets, and you
yeah,
can usually they are marked by the FEMA to tell you if flood insurance is required. So
Exactly.
you would know.
Hmm.
And this is again another reiteration on why you need to work with a realtor when you purchasing a home, because those are items that we as real estate agents and advisors can advise you on.
Most definitely.
Correct. Yeah, you can
Most
go on
definitely.
the internet and search, like she said, on the FEMA website to see if that home needs flood insurance. And to Sir's point, there are several areas in this region, Charlotte, that has creeks that you are required to have that flood insurance for, but it's not many. It's maybe, I would say, a half a percentage point here.
Yeah, most definitely. Um, Now I want to move on to something that I want to talk about. If there's something you all want to talk about, by all means, stop me.
Yeah, but
Wegmans.
so before you go on though with
Yeah.
insurance, you only touched on it at the beginning, but
Mhm.
having enough coverage,
Yeah.
Mhm.
that plays a huge part. And if something goes wrong,
Hmm.
I actually did a
Oh,
video on
you
it
did a video on it, please. Yes.
last week. And what I personally do now is at least once a year, or if I make a major purchase in my home, I walk through my home, video record it, and then email it to myself. So just in case something happens, I have proof of that to give to the insurance company. And like many Americans, we all have some type of thing that we love. I love sneakers, so I have a
I knew
sneaker
it was coming.
collection.
I knew it was coming.
So you need to make sure that your insurance company knows that you have a sneaker collection and that is in your insurance. Because if not, they're not paying for those sneakers, regardless of if you have photos or not.
Ladies, if you're not a sneakerhead, those purses, you need a policy as well, because that's an investment.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's really good. And it's very important not only just to replace material items, but the
Hey,
construction cost is
my,
increasing.
my girl Barbara says some people save money. So I don't know about your sneaker collection. Some people save, Danny.
Oh, okay. I mean, I did. I went from buying one pair a month to one pair every 2 months. So that's a 50% reduction.
There you go. There you go.
Baby steps.
It's progress, right? Progress. No, that is a pertinent fact, and I forgot about you that you did that video. That is something that I'm going to start doing. I haven't done, right? Just make sure I record. I like watches. Record what I have, right? To where in case something happens, and then also we talk about being underinsured, to make sure you have enough insurance. Is that insurance covering all those purchases that you have, right? Does it cover everything? So we want to make sure that you are protected in that sense. Now,
Yeah, ladies, those purses need to be covered.
now
I'm
give me one
serious.
second.
Just like your sneakers, the
Yeah.
purses too.
Purses, watches, any like
Mhm.
jewelry. Get a lot of that. I would say for jewelry, if you do have an extensive collection, get it appraised and make
Mhm.
sure that you have that appraisal ticket somewhere safe.
Mhm.
I know people put, safe deposit boxes in their home. I'm more of a let
Mhm.
me just go to the bank and get a $50 safety deposit box because even though you have a safe and it's fireproof, it can still get into that safe. You can go back to the
Mhm.
bills before you go to Wegmans, though.
Oh, go to Bills?
Yeah, you can go to the bills
No,
before.
we're good. We're good. Well, one. So this has nothing to do with this video right here at all. So my brother Danny, he's many people think he's like my real brother because I call him my brother all the time. He's like my real brother, but we're not officially related. Although we may be. We're from upstate New York. He's from Buffalo. I'm from Rochester. And growing up, I was a Bills fan, but I can't continue liking losers. So
Ooh,
so I diverted, right?
shots
And I'm a
fired.
Chiefs fan. And this coming week, we haven't put anything on the game just yet. The Chiefs Bills. Is this the second or third time? This is the fourth time in the playoffs because Josh Allen is 0-3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So my daughters are also Bills fans. Those two lovely ladies back there. So I'm like an enemy in my own territory. I come to the office, I got Bills fans. Go to my house, got Bills fans. But this week, the Chiefs, the Arrowhead Invitational, we welcome the Bills, and then we're gonna go to the Super Bowl right after that and beat whoever with Jalen or Jaden or who is it? Is it Jalen or Jaden? Right, both of them. Yeah,
it's gonna be a mafia takeover in Arrowhead.
Man, my daughters were actually this afternoon. My daughters were dancing about the Buffalo Bills. Still, right? Still, it was. Yeah,
Love it.
I kind of want to go to the game. I'm gonna see if George is down.
I watch you on television. I love my Buffalo. I love Buffalo from Buffalo. I don't do the cold no more. So I like to watch the game from the confines of my home that's nicely set at 75 degrees.
No, that's too hot.
Cold weather.
Now, in the chat, please. What is too hot to have the temperature on? I think a solid 71 is perfect.
24.
Now, if they had their way in here, it would be like 75. We have to like joust the thermostat at 73. And even still, I still have my fan. I did, but
right. And I have a heater.
Yes. So we still fight a little
dying.
bit. Oh yeah, you're hot in there, aren't you? That room is hot. Yeah. So we're talking about being from upstate New York because of this next topic we're broaching is Wegmans, only the best grocery store ever, right? Like in my humble opinion, I don't think there's much debate regarding this fact. Danny, can you please tell the people about Wegmans? Terry too, but Danny, since we're from upstate New York, please share them about Wegmans.
People here, they think Food Line, and then they got this big jump to Harris Teeter and Publix. From Harris Teeter and Publix, you have that bigger jump that you can't even see. I'm off the screen, which Wegmans. Anything you've ever seen Harris Teeter and Publix do, it started at Wegmans.
Amen. So basically, you're saying upstate New York, we're trendsetters.
Trendsetters, best food.
There you go.
Best fan base. 2025 Super Bowl champion.
There you go. All right. Fair enough. Terry, you are not from upstate New York, but you know about Wegmans.
Yes. When I lived in DC, we hung out at Wegmans. Wegmans was like happy hour for us. I hate grocery shopping, but I will go to Wegmans.
Why? Why is that?
Because you're not in a grocery store. You like at your neighborhood hangout spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got excellent cheese, champagne, wine, beer, whatever. It's a good vibe. It's a nice vibe. The quality of the produce, the meats, the cheese. Colleagues love the sub sandwiches. Mm-hmm. I'm not a sub sandwich person, so
now all those people that speak so highly of public subs, like in this area, at least the Fort Mill area, people rave about the public subs. You need to go get lunch at Publix. Just wait. Wegmans, now Publix is good, but Wegmans is going to have it beat. Now, granted, we do have a Wegmans coming to the Charlotte area. It's not going to be in the Fort Mill, TK area. It'll be in the Ballantyne area, and it's going to be 110,000 square feet. It's going to be a massive store.
And it's going to be on the east people at that grand opening.
It's going to have indoor and outdoor seating. I'm excited about that. I'm sorry. I'm excited
Barbara
about that.
asked, hold on. Barbara asked, is the prices cheaper? No. So growing up, there was Wegmans and Tops. Right? Wegmans was up here. Tops was your Food Line. And I went to Tops. right? Because it was just more affordable. Now, if it was a good week, good month, I'll go to Wegmans, right? So no, it's not going to be cheaper, but the quality is there.
The quality
Well, yeah,
is
yeah.
the quality is like going to the butcher when it comes to
Yeah.
meat.
Mhm.
I'm going
And
to
they
the
have,
farmer when it comes to
yep,
produce, right?
Mhm.
yeah. And they have different, like, I don't know, kiosks might not be the right term, like as far as restaurants in the grocery store. Like,
Hmm.
you want sushi, they'll make it right there in front of you. You want a sub, they'll go ahead and make that. Like, you mentioned cheeses, like
My
seafood, like
God,
everything.
it's
It's
cheese
right,
headquarters.
it's right there. It's right there.
So it's
And their
everything public
bakery is
wants.
really good too. The bakery is really good too.
Now, in the comment section, do you all know what Wegmans is? Have you heard of Wegmans? We have one question or comment. Safety deposit at the bank is not a good option. You are renting that box. If something disastrous happens to the bank, then they can confiscate your belongings as part of their property. Okay.
Yeah, I mean it can happen, but how
I
many
mean,
times have
with
you
that
heard?
said, like, when was the last time you had something disastrous happen at a bank where where you heard people confiscating? Not saying it's not possible; it doesn't happen, but yeah, is this? Make sure you do your due diligence, do your research, making sure you're good. Um, y'all are very quiet in the chat, with the exception of Barbara. Thank you for keeping it active.
Barbara,
Oh, one thing I wanted to talk about was crime being down in Charlotte. If
3%.
you 3%, if you, depending on who you ask and who you talk to, Charlotte, let them tell it, is running amok with crime and everything like that, letting too many people in, and crime is going crazy. But the numbers just don't indicate that. Crime is actually going down. Let me see if I can, hold on. Here we go. Yep. Number of overall crime fell by 3% in 2024.
And that's with a 2.5% increase in people moving in as well.
Most definitely.
Yes.
I think it's maybe 117, 118 people moving into Charlotte daily.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Property
Mhm.
crimes fell by 4%. That's a good
And
thing.
then car thefts down by 8%.
Which is, if you ask me, what's going on, Chris and Vivian? Come on, we need to get y'all here. I actually went by, is it Waterside? Went by Waterside recently and saw those condos in Cheryl's Ford. Let's talk. We went by, saw them. I took a quick video, a small video. I'll send it to you. I'm not sure if it's enough space for you, but yeah, I like it. I know you were interested in that community. I got distracted. Oh,
Yeah,
talking about
Cheryl's Ford
crime.
is definitely the next big
Mhm.
place, though. I mean, it's right
Yes,
there on the
Mhm.
border.
It's
right there on the
beautiful.
water.
That property is right there on the water.
Mhm.
It's beautiful. So calming, so relaxing. And it's not that far off the highway either. So
No, it is beautiful. And they live right on the water right now in New Jersey. So they want to be as close to the water as possible. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. But
you literally on the edge of the water in that community.
yeah, like the different amenities are right on the waterfront.
Hmm.
Right? But talking about crime here in the Charlotte area, and talking about property crime and everything going down, what I found, prior life, I practiced criminal defense attorney. And what I just found so silly was that people would, now I have to be careful how I word this. People would complain about property crime and everything, but a lot of it is just avoidable if you lock your vehicle.
Mhm.
Lock your vehicle, lock your front door. I understand we're in the South, right? People feel like everybody's just welcoming and everything like that. But common sense is common sense, right? Like don't leave your car outside out of your garage with the keys in it and it being unlocked. Like during spring break and during the summer, like idle hands and idle kids and idle people do silly things, right? So I'm hoping people just wised up and started locking things up, because a lot of times people would just walk to the next vehicle once they see that everything was locked.
Yeah, you're going to see that, especially with kids being outside, something not really much for them to do in the community. They're just walking around, seeing if the door is open. If it's open, they look around. You really don't see much missing, because it is what it is. But I mean, you have to just prepare for that. Lock your door. A lot of those crimes are unavoidable. I'm just tired of seeing it on the next door neighbor app about a kid broke in my car and stole some change.
They didn't break a window or anything, right? They just yeah. Where you stay, Terry, I know when I lived in Berwick, I saw it a lot of, on the Nextdoor app. And then even here in this area, I don't hear it as much. It's more so honorary adults mad at kids for doing kid things, but not really breaking into things, right? What do you see as far as crime being reported on the Nextdoor app and different things like that?
A lot of times it's just more about somebody was knocking on my door on Nextdoor app. It's not a lot of crime that I'm seeing. Every now and then you might see somebody left their car unlocked, and so someone went through it, type of thing. But nothing crazy, nothing alarming. I still feel that Still Creek area. I feel safe there.
No, most definitely. I do too.
I feel safe in all of Charlotte. Like I've lived in other major cities, and people are like, "Oh my God, the crime is bad." I'm like,
no.
Where?
And I don't want to speak for you, Danny, but this is heaven compared to where I'm from in Rochester.
Man, I'll leave my house door open compared to here. I mean, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, in some places you go, you walk back out, you praying you still got 4 tires.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Now, I do want to touch on violent crimes are up. Right? Violent crimes are up. Just want to address it. And again, having that criminal defense background and seeing like the dynamics, violent crimes typically occur, not typically, just about 98% of the time occur between people that know each other. It's not going to be like a random act of violence for the most part, right? There are, you hear craziness happening throughout the country, but most of the time it is like, well, Danny and Terry both know me. I mind my own business. I'm not trying. I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be like, let me do my thing, right? You mind your business. You really, for the most part, you shouldn't have to worry about any of this.
Yeah.
Where are we at here? Talked about insurance increases. Give me 1 second. Let me pull this off right here. We have one, Barbara. I know we mentioned it last week, but your birthday had passed since then. Happy birthday, 69 years old.
Happy birthday, Capricorn. Love
now,
it.
She is a Capricorn. Terry, what was our event? It was actually on the 14th. What was our event?
It's in cocktails.
we rubbing it in. My brother. So
somebody
Danny,
didn't get the memo. It wasn't
Danny,
my fault.
We invited everyone at a team meeting like 2 weeks before, and that was my fault. I made the announcement. I didn't put it in the chat, but I made the announcement at a team meeting. So I'll take the blame for that. We have a question. What are the safe areas to raise a family in North Carolina?
What do you consider safe?
I was about to say that's subjective.
Like I said, anywhere something can happen. You do have certain places where it may happen at a higher rate, but overall, Charlotte, period, and surrounding areas, it's going to be safe. And to, Sir's point earlier, most crimes happen amongst people that know each other. You're not going to see just crimes happening and they don't know the other person. That's not what happens here in Charlotte and the surrounding areas.
Most definitely. So what I tell you to look up, go on niche.com. I say niche.com. They have different rankings. They do their own internal ranking as far as listing different things, whether it be safe area or safest areas in a certain city or safest areas in a state. They will rank all that for you. I don't know how they come about with their ranking, but that is one of the resources you can use. He's from Orange County, California. Okay. Yeah. So go ahead. I know you're from that, not from that area, but you're familiar with Orange County, Terry.
Yes, I love Orange County. My family is in Orange County. So it's good. It's a different vibe here, right? We're in the South. Everybody nice, Southern. Um, you don't have to worry about anything too alarming. But when you have people, you're gonna have crime. Simple as that. You
Most
have good,
definitely.
you have bad, but I don't
Now we
think
do have
it's
no, it's nothing to be alarmed about. But reach
no.
out or go to niche.com. And if you have further questions, I would love to video topics right here. We can do this is a video topic we can talk about. And we don't have to use our own, we can refer back to niche.com and do that. But we have a question saying, just joined. Welcome, Pat. I know crime comes in various forms. Planning to move to Charlotte with his young family or their young family. What do you recommend as low crime area? And do you need the Second Amendment? Whether you need it or not, I say
It's afforded
to us, so you should take
Mhm.
advantage of it, right? And again, you're in the South, so if you don't take advantage of it, just know a majority of people around you will be.
Yeah, and that was a reality wake up for me when I moved here. Is you just walk down the street and people got pistols on their hips. Like I didn't know what to do. Like, hold on. Like, but you ain't got that in your socks. So, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's like I said, more people have them than not, but it's not a high crime as you would see in other places with shootings, especially in Charlotte.
And one thing I say about that, and Terry, I would love your thoughts as well, is yes, you see them on the hips and everything, but majority of people that are carrying it, you wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know one bit. And part of me, maybe is ignorance or whatever, biased, but part of me thinks reason why there's not as much crime as in certain other places is because in the back of your mind, everybody else has it. Right? Like that's a deterrent right there. Like, hey, look, I'm not gonna act stupid, or like even if I do act stupid, or if I feel froggy, chances are one of them has it as well. So it makes you talk it out, as opposed to yeah.
Actually, I thought I was going to be uneasy moving here because I don't like guns, right? And so when I found out, like everyone, even when I was in Alabama, I lived in Alabama, same thing, everyone walked around. But it actually was very calming to me because I'm like, okay, at least I see it. In most cities, you don't know who has a gun, right? At least you know because
Yeah.
you see it. But it's like people are very like having conversations with people, they respect weapons here. It's not just they get them, it's a toy. No, they actually respect it. They go and get proper training, take the classes. So it's a different level of intelligence with it that gives me that, okay, I'm okay with it. I still haven't purchased one myself, but I'm okay. I'm being in the room around people.
Come with me. I was just
I was
there.
gonna say, Terry, we got to change that. Like, I know you just joined the farm. We had like carry concealed classes in the fall. Like, yeah.
It's definitely good to have. Even though you may not like it, I would definitely say at least take the class to learn gun safety. Everybody thinks they can shoot until they have to shoot. So you want to make sure that you are prepared just in case something does happen. Hope, knock on wood, nothing does happen. But it's just like home insurance. You don't need it until you need it.
Never thought of it that way. Thank you.
Yeah. No, and like you said, like people grow up here in the South with a healthy respect for firearms. So you have kids that are learning how to handle it properly, safely. So you don't really, it's not novel to them when they have it or when people have it. It's not something, it really is a tool. That's what it is. It's a tool. It's not anything other than that.
Yeah, you see less minor gun incidences in the South because they understand what the gun is. They're not just saying it, and when somebody walk away, let me go play with it. They actually knew exactly what it was from the start. So it's not something that, oh my God, it's on the table, let me go play with it because I know what it does. We've shot with it, hunted with it, or whatever. You don't see that often in states that have a lot of gun safety.
Yeah. I mean, I know since being here, like kids getting gifted guns at like 4 or 5 years old. Like that's their gift.
And I know people that look at their guns like they're like, and like they're puppies and their cats. They're like their babies, right? They take pride in them. Like seriously, they take really good pride in them, and they keep them clean. And so it's a different mentality, and I think that's why it's a little bit different here. So when people talk about Second Amendment, people carrying guns and stuff, it doesn't bother me.
I mean, if they can give Rocky a gun, we can get one.
Low crime area. Where do you recommend? He has a young family. We touched on the Second Amendment part of his question. Planning to move to the Charlotte area with a young family. Low crime area. Now, that's all. I can give you.
So as you say, low crime area, tomorrow it could be a high crime area. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's so subjective.
I'm with you. It is subjective. And I can give you several. I mean, it really depends on where you want to be. You want to go to the outskirts? You have places. What I was going to say, Maiden, out there. That's low, very low crime. You have, but if you want to be in, closer to Charlotte, I mean, I'm trying to think. It is just so subjective. I'm thinking you have Steel Creek, you have Fort Mill, you have Myers Park. Now, some of those areas are more prone to property crime, right? Property theft. As far as violent crime is down. So it really is what you're looking for. And obviously, yes, ideally you want everything to be low crime, but there's going to be some crime. But if you want to be just left alone, then go to Lancaster. Yeah, go to Lancaster. Nobody's gonna mess with you, right? You want nobody's mess. You're gonna have a whole 2 acres to just shoot and do whatever you want, right? So you have different pockets for what you want and how you want to live your life here in the Charlotte area. Now, if you want to be in a subdivision, in a community where you have, lots at 0.12 to 0.35, then we can talk about, what those low crime areas look like and what that means, and then what your budget is too. Vivian, please share the updates on Cheryl's Ford. May be here within 30 to 45 days. I'll send it to you. I'll definitely send it to you. And I'm trying to think if there's any other communities that I want you to look at. Terry, something by the water. I know Cheryl's Ford. We got that, right?
Yeah.
Denver.
I'm trying to think what's new in Denver. Yeah, that's what. So you got Denver, down in the Belmont area. That's water too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they don't have any anything in that community. You can get to they have the gated community that's down there in Belmont. That's right near the vineyards.
Which gated community? Belmont. It's not McLean.
It's
Okay.
I'll send it to you, but I don't know the name
Okay.
of it off the top of my head.
And then they're also open to South Carolina, Lake Wiley or Mount Now. It's not much on Mount Now as far as new construction. Lake Wiley. You got the River District.
I was about to say you got the River District, and then if they, that True Home community down in Lancaster, that's on the
that's a little too
water
far
and the
out.
golf
No,
course. That's too
we
far.
went there. We went there. That's a little too far. A little too far.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
It will like the homes itself are perfect. The community is perfect.
It's just far.
I'm going to tell your business, Chris and Vivian. Like they like to go out. They're they're
It's
coming
far.
down to retire, but they want to enjoy. Like they're not going to be able to go and do their things that they want to do, and then have to drive that 45 minutes to an hour and 10 minutes back. They don't want that.
Do they want to be in the lake in the lake community? Or they want a boat slip as well?
I'm not sure. I mean, I believe just in the lake community, if it's close to the water as possible, right?
Okay.
Close to the water as possible. Water views.
What about the vineyards over there off of 485?
We did go there.
Oh, okay.
Check it out. Yeah.
Okay.
Might be some resale. They're wrapped up there.
Only resale, but they actually pushing another one out. It's about 20, I think 20 to 50 lots. It's on the same at the end of where Meredith stopped building.
Oh, okay. Okay. So no, we'll go out there. No boat slip is necessary. All right.
Okay.
So, we'll go. I'll go check it out.
All right.
Now, something I want to touch on. I know we're about 47 minutes in. We probably should have touched on this earlier. My fault. Is the impact of Martin Luther King on housing. And many people, I don't know, it just gets overlooked that a lot of his civil rights fight and everything had to do with fair housing and equality in housing. And the Fair Housing Act of 1968 is a direct result of the efforts that he made, although he didn't see it come to fruition, unfortunately. Right? Danny, Terry, what have you seen? How would you say his impact here in let's say the Charlotte market or just in housing in general?
I mean, as an investor in purchasing, we from the Buffalo area, so you got a lot of older homes.
Yeah.
So I just sat back at the properties that I own there and realized that my family or myself could not have bought that property brand new. The house that I grew up in, we could not have bought that property brand new. So just to see how far, all the work that he put in for us to get to where we are today should definitely not be overlooked.
Most definitely. And to piggyback on what you said, so it shouldn't be overlooked. And that is why I am a huge proponent to taking advantage of getting on the property ladder when you can, right? It's never going to be the perfect home doesn't exist. It just doesn't. Like whether the location, it might not be enough space. It just doesn't exist. And even when you think you found the perfect home, trust me, in a year, 2 years, you're gonna be like, I need something else. It's gonna be a different perfect home. To get on the property ladder when you can, right? Because people sacrificed a lot for us to be able to be in this position, to be able to be selective, right? And we owe it to not just them, but to our future generations to get that property, not sell it, but get it, hold on to it, let it appreciate. I'm about to touch on what you like to talk about, Terry. Let it gain equity and move it forward. Terry, how would you like to talk on Dr. King's legacy in housing? And you are very vital. Now, you like to be low key, and I appreciate that about you. However, Community Link, you're very impactful in the community in these pockets. Can you please share? Just share.
Yeah. So I'm very passionate about making sure that anyone and everyone that wants to own a home owns a home. Simple as
Yeah.
that. And that is what Dr. King was all about, right? That's what equality is. We understand that not everybody has the mindset that they want to be a homeowner, but for those that do, they should be able to achieve that. So I have strategically partnered with Community Link, which is a nonprofit that focuses on affordability, housing affordability for the working class. Let's be realistic. And we have put together strategic partnerships with different local builders as well as different lenders and financial institutions to help what we call community heroes be able to purchase home. Those community heroes are our school teachers, our educators that's loving on our children every day for 8 hours a day that cannot afford to live in the same community that they teach in. CMS have school teachers that are driving an hour and a half each way just to come to work because they cannot afford to purchase here. Those
I
community
actually,
heroes is also, go ahead.
no, I was saying I helped a client who is a teacher, and she wanted to stay in the Charlotte area. She couldn't afford it. She really had to move over by Gaffney area,
Mhm.
and now we lost, and the CMS lost a very integral person that really played an impactful role on a lot of children simply because obviously she had to look out for her and her kids, her grandkids actually, and be able to have a house that she can afford. And it was all the way there. So now she's working out there, and she's a blessing to them. But we lost that here
Mhm.
because we didn't, they couldn't find affordable housing.
And it's not just impacting school teachers,
Mhm.
but our police officers,
Yeah.
our paramedics,
Yeah.
our department.
Mhm.
So Community Link is focused on helping our community heroes become homeowners, which is amazing. And it's sad because affordability has grown a wider gap between housing equality.
Now, what people don't, we get lost in here, is when they see Dr. King, they're thinking, housing equality as far as racial. What we're seeing right now is the financial, economic
Mhm.
disparities, right? And a lot of times he wasn't well received during that time when people thought along the lines of races. But this economic disparity crosses all races,
Mhm.
right? So this housing inequality impacts everyone, not just the Black and brown communities, right? So, like, we all should be pushing for housing equality and opportunity and affordable housing throughout the country, but in particular, we're in the Charlotte area, throughout the Carolinas. And we are all part of NARAB, National Association of Real Estate Brokers. Now, me, people that look like me, weren't allowed to be part of National Association of Realtors until technically 71 nationally. Here in the Charlotte area, it wasn't until much later than that, because we all know, segregation. It took a little while to be integrated and
Mhm.
everything, right? And we created NARAB, and NARAB's mission centers on creating access and resources and information to support the community regardless of the background so they can pursue and achieve economic and housing equality. So we are, I don't want to call us pillars. We are part of the community to try to help and educate and empower everyone, not just people that look like us, but we want to, again, raise attention, light to underserved, underrepresented people. So these are the people we need to be able to function on a day-to-day as a society. I know I saw you're holding advocates. Yes, I'm gonna say I saw you holding something back, Ted. That's what you were gonna say. Advocates.
We're advocates.
Amen.
Not pillars. We're advocates.
Danny, what you gotta say, brother?
You know, I'm a son of a retired Charlotte Mecklenburg teacher from Buffalo as well. He started there and came here.
Man, I didn't know that.
Yeah, history
I didn't
teacher.
either.
I didn't know that. So we really need to talk more.
Yeah, definitely.
My mom was a teacher in New York and came here and then taught in Wilmington. All right, okay.
He also taught at Livingstone Theater.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is I remember, you know, especially during the summer. Like I knew when summer came, you know, we out of school, everybody having fun. I'm out there cutting grass. You know, we cutting grass because, you know, they don't get money during the
Mm-hmm.
It's like we almost push our teachers to the side, even though we need them the most. I knew the struggles that he went through and what he had to do to, you know, to make ends meet. So I mean, I try to do my best to always help any teachers that I can, and just make sure that, like I said, the biggest thing is giving back to us, and us not meaning, you know, black, white, you know, brown. It's everybody giving back to us as a people and doing what we can to help each other. Because at the end of the day, we know that if you own your home, you're going to care for it. So your lawn's going to be more. You know, you have that sense of home ownership.
And when you just think about the founding of America, right, the United States, we as a country, and we haven't diverted much from this. Mm-hmm. In order to vote, what did you need? Who could vote?
White men
that were landowners.
Mm-hmm.
That were landowners,
correct.
Right? Mm-hmm. And we as a country, and the tax laws and the laws that are in place, we value property owners and landowners. And I say we, because those are who the laws are made to protect. Right? So if you want to have a say, own more land, buy more property. That's just, I mean, if you just distill it down to its most basic form, if you distill it down to its most basic form, that is America.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? I say this all the time.
Any more land.
You know, you show up at the town hall, the city council meetings, and you give your address, and there's not a unit behind it, but it's actual address. They're going to listen to you, because guess what? They understand that your property taxes pay for their budget.
Yeah.
So your voice weighs more than someone from Unit 202.
Most definitely. And
home ownership is very powerful. A lot of people don't understand it, unfortunately, and that's why we do amazing workshops like I just had this past weekend, where we teach the value of home ownership.
Yes.
But you know, I'm passionate. I believe in educating. I believe in making sure that, you know, people have all the information so they can make the best decision for them, right? And so a lot of times we get caught up in all the noise about home ownership, And I try to use my workshop to silence that noise to really help people understand the value of
Now,
homeownership.
most of the noise comes from the peanut gallery.
Yeah.
Comes from
Yes,
the people that don't own,
that
right?
part.
Like most of the noise comes from people that don't own, right? Because whether you realize it or not, as a renter, you're paying the mortgage.
Definitely.
Like
Mortgage
you're
With no
tax.
paying,
tax benefit.
yeah, you're paying mortgage taxes, you're paying the that increase in insurance. Trust me, you'll see that
Hmm.
next time your renewal is up, right? You'll see that. You'll see it. Um, Danny, what can you say about the workshop this past weekend that Terry just had?
Oh, man. She had about 1,000 people pushed in maybe a 100 square foot room. Uh, but it was definitely informative. I mean,
Yeah.
she's definitely one of the. This is the best I ever seen. To be honest, I told her this. Uh, I mean, it was just amazing the information that she gave and breaking it down to. She had a lot of people that have never purchased. So the way she broke it down and saying, "Hey, this is how you break your payment down, or this is how you get to where you need to be."
Mhm.
Start here. You know, a lot of people are scared because of the unknown.
Yep.
So I mean, so for her to break it down and actually educate, because this is what we really do is we're educators without being educators.
Yep.
And she did
Hmm.
an amazing job. You know, she so talking about teachers, she definitely need a apple on her desk today. And she did an amazing job.
So,
Nice, nice. No, thank you for that, Danny. Any questions from people that are watching? We're at the hour mark. I'm not trying to keep you. I know I kept you all late, like last week. We're at the hour mark. Is there anything you all want to talk about?
I'll just like to say the next house party home buyers workshop will be February 8th at 11 o'clock at 100 Stone Village Drive. That's Fort Mill, South Carolina. You can text HP to 980-231-1428 to register.
And that's the number that's in the description, right?
Mm-hmm.
The number is in the description. All of her contact number information is in the description. Same as Danny. Danny, last words. What would you like to say?
It's been a long
Let's
time
go
coming.
Chiefs. That's what you wanted to say.
You definitely know that ain't where we're going. Uh, Definitely a long time coming. You know, you've been trying to get me on here for a while, but I didn't want to come on here without putting the work in. And I believe over the past year, I've been putting that work in and really understanding the market. I never want to sell something to someone that I can't give you the full me and educate you on purchasing your home. So I definitely appreciate you giving me this opportunity. And thank you for allowing me to speak to I call it your congregation. I'm about
Nah.
to
This
pass.
is
Yes,
this is
thank you,
our
sir.
congregation. This is our congregation.
Ashley. Thank you,
Um,
sir,
I'm
Ashley.
I'm thankful for both of you. Terry, I'm forever grateful for you. Danny, you have put the work in. You have absolutely crushed it this past year. And I think you well, not even think, I know at the end of the year, the final numbers came out for the fourth quarter GCI, and you were right there.
Yo,
And you let me know. You let me
Daniel
know that
son
you're coming
Daniel
for it.
son was on Mr. Miyagi,
Be on
son.
your heels.
You let me
Be on
know.
your
You let me know you're
heels.
coming for me. And
Man,
then I was talking to you. It was just yesterday. I was
mhm.
I was done for the day. I was wrapped up, just touching base, and you're like, no, I'm still out. I'm at a show. I'm on the way to Maiden showing this property, and I'm like, it is Sunday night. And you make sure I'm like, no, Sunday afternoon. I'm like, make sure you're home by 6:30 to watch the game. But no, I kudos to you, brother, for putting in the work, learning the market, and for those of you, I know there's other real estate agents watching this. Danny was actually part of a panel last week talking about Elevate and how to have your best year in real estate. Now, 2024 was a very tough year for a lot of agents, just nationally and in this area. Danny had his best year. One thing I get to see everybody's numbers in the office and everything like that. We have about 150 agents. I can reliably depend on and count on Danny getting 2 to 3 transactions a month. And like, I can close my eyes, just book it. Just book it. I know it's going to happen. And to those of you who are not in the real estate industry, let me put that in perspective. The average realtor in 2024 did 4 deals.
The whole year.
For the whole year. For the whole year.
Yeah,
4.
yeah. Not
right?
the month, the whole year.
So to have somebody do that in 5 weeks is extraordinary. Right?
Every 5 weeks.
Every 5 weeks, like clockwork. Right? So like, my hat goes off to you. You put in the work, and most people don't know this. Not even some of the real estate agents in our firm. This is your part-time job.
Yes.
He does this part-time, and he's putting in the work. He's making more money than full-time real estate agents, and he's not even making more money, making greater impact on people's lives than a lot of full-time agents, because he's passionate about what he does. And I can go on and on about Terry. Terry is amazing. Danny just mentioned it as well. She has her team, but no, I'm thankful for you all. You all hold me accountable. You all, speaking of, I got an email just before this. Terry was like, I need this by Thursday, and a list of things. So you all hold me accountable, and I appreciate it. Thank you. I will keep pushing you, and let's just make let's see how great of an impact we can make throughout the Carolinas and throughout this country, for that matter. And driving people to home ownership, educating them how to use the equity from the home they have, to whether it be buy more property or school, whatever it may be. Let's educate our community, and our community is everyone. So let's do it. You all have a good night.
Let's do it.
Y'all have a good night. Thank you all for rocking with us. Much appreciated. Y'all too, stay on. I'm about to end the stream now.
Okay.